Konnichiwa minasan, Nihongo no gakusei desu. In this lesson, we will learn the Japanese expression tara, tara, or in English, if. Now, in Japanese, there are a lot of ways in saying if, but tara is just one of them, and we're going to discuss it in this video. Now, when we say tara, we have this equation here, A tara B. So by that, we mean that the event, action, or situation in B is realized if and when the condition in A is met. So for example, this is the condition part. Nihon ni ittara, if and when I go to Japan. Nihon ni ittara, kimono kaimasu. So I will buy a kimono once I go to Japan. Okay? A, the clause A is the conditional situation. I will never buy a kimono without ever setting foot in Japan. So A is the conditional situation. Now, we have to take note that tara, the ta, comes from the casual past tense of the verb. So in this example, we have the verb iku, to go. So iku, the past tense of which is itta. So we use itta and then we just add ra. Nihon ni ittara kimono kaimasu. Okay? And this is the rule always. We use the past casual, either affirmative or negative, before ra. Right? So these are the others. So we have the verb here. Again, yomu, to read, and an adjective, yasashi. So when we are using tara, again, we use the past casual, either affirmative or negative. Here we say yonda, so we use yondara or yomanakattara, or in adjective, yasashikattara or yasashiku nakattara. Okay? And for the na adjective, we have shizuka. So we have the conjugation. So shizuka datta, shizuka dattara, shizuka janakatta, shizuka janakattara, right? And for the noun is the same as the na adjective. So yasumi dattara, yasumi datta, yasumi janakatta, yasumi janakattara, right? So again, we use the casual past affirmative or negative, right? So we never use the casual present or the past polite when using ra. Just the past casual, either affirmative or negative. Alright, another usage of tara. Sometimes the clause before tara describes a possible condition and the clause after it is the consequence which then follows. Whether or not the condition is actually met is largely an open issue with this set of sentences. So for example, we have this possible condition. Yamashita sensei ni attara. So if I see Professor Yamashita, sono koto kikkou to omaimasu. I will ask him about it. Okay? So this is a possible condition. This condition may either be realized or not. Because if I see Professor, if I don't see him, I won't ask him about it. Right? So this is a possible condition and we do not know whether this will happen or not. That's why it's called possible. It's either yes or no. Nihonjin dattara kono kotoba wo shitteiru desho. If somebody is Japanese, then he will probably know this word. Okay? Again, a possible condition. If you don't see any Japanese, then he won't know this word. It may happen or it may not happen. And lastly, we have Tenki ga yoku nakattara. If the weather is not good, kyampu ni ikimasen. We will not go camping. Again, going camping depends on whether the condition will happen or not. Tenki ga yoku nakattara, kyampu ni ikimasen. Sometimes the tara clause describes a very probable condition, and the second clause describes the event that will take place as soon as the situation is realized. With this type of sentence, tara simply arranges future events and activities in temporal sequence. For example, we have this sentence, Shukudai ga owattara. Shukudai ga owattara. If the homework is finished, asobi ni ikimashou. Let's go out and have fun. Or if I finish the homework, we can go out and have some fun. Here, shukudai ga owattara. If the homework is finished, this is the probable condition. So, I don't know if I will finish my homework or not. But if I finished it, we can go out and have some fun. So this is the probable condition. I may probably finish it. And if I finished it, let's go out and have some fun. Finally, the clause tara can describe a condition that is unreal or contrary to fact. With this type of sentence, you express a purely hypothetical condition and its probable result. Okay? So we can use tara to describe something unreal. Alright? Watashi ga neko dattara if I were a cat. Okay? Watashi ga neko dattara if I were a cat. Ichinichi ju netteru desho. I would probably asleep all day. Okay? So this is easy. These are the conditions which can never happen. If I were a cat, I would probably asleep all day. So here we also use tara. Again, datta is the past casual form of deshita. Yakuman en attara, if I had 1 million yen, kuruma mo kaun desu kedo, I would buy a car. If I had 1 million yen, for purposes of discussion, we just say this is a hypothetical condition. If I had 1 million yen, I would buy a car. Yakuman en attara kuruma o kaun desu kedo. Now, we cannot express tara in a sequence in which B occurs before A. B must only take place at the time A comes through or later. For example, Raishu shiken ga attara, kondo no shumatsu wa benkyou shita hou ga ii desu yo. If you have an exam next week, you better study this weekend. Now, the problem here is that B, in this sentence, B, the clause B, is happening first before clause A. In this case, we cannot use tara. Okay? If you have an exam next week, you better study this weekend. Okay? We cannot use ra here. Raishu shiken ga attara. Okay? We cannot use if. The better translation here is using nara. Nara. Raishu shiken ga aru nara, in case you have an exam tomorrow. So nara is translated as in case. In case you have an exam tomorrow, kondo no shumatsu wa benkyou shita hou ga ii desu yo. You better study this weekend. Okay? So the better translation here is not if, but in case. Or we can also use nen no tame. Nen no tame. Nen no tame raishu shiken ga arimasu. Kondo no shumatsu wa benkyou shita hou ga ii desu yo. In case you have an exam next week, you better study this weekend. But in this case, in this situation, we cannot use ra. Okay? Again, the clause in A must come first before clause be. So we can use ra. Alright, now let's have some practice. We're going to match column A and column B using tara. So here we have, for example, sotsugyo suru. Sotsugyo suru, to graduate. So what is its partner in column B? That is, ryoko kaisha ni shushoku suru tsumori desu. I'm planning to get a job at a travel agency. Sotsugyo suru, to graduate. Sotsugyo shitara, if I graduate, ryoko kaisha ni shushoku suru tsumori desu. I'm going to get a job at a travel agency. Now let's try answering the other 8 items. Next, we have futoru. Futoru is to become fat. Futoru. Alright, so its partner is to do diet. Must go to diet. Right? Must do diet. Letter E. Futoru. Futottara. Futottara. So futotta is the past tense. Futottara, diet to shinakia ikemasen. Futottara, diet to shinakia ikemasen. If you get fat, you must go on a diet. Next. Number 2. Doubutsuen ni iku. Doubutsuen ni iku, to go to the zoo. So its partner is panda ga miraremasu. We can see panda. So we have doubutsuen ni iku. Doubutsuen ni ittara panda ga miraremasu. We can see the pandas. Doubutsuen ni ittara panda ga miraremasu. If we go to the zoo, we can see the pandas. Next, shukudai ga owaranai. Did not finish the homework. Okay? Did not finish the homework. Owaranai. Its partner is doko ni mo ikemasen. Can't go anywhere. Shukudai ga owaranai. So not finish the homework is shukudai ga owaranakattara doko ni mo ikemasen, or doko mo ikemasen. Shukudai ga owaranakattara doko ni mo ikemasen. Next, we have samui. Samui. Its partner is hita o tsuketa hou ga ii desu yo. So, to turn on the heater or to increase the heater. Samui. Samukattara. If it is cold, samukattara. Hita o tsuketa hou ga ii desu yo. You should turn on the heater. Okay? Samukattara. Samukattara. Next, we have yasui denshi renji ga aru. So if there is a cheap microwave, that is kao to omotte imasu. Yasui denshi renji ga aru. So say yasui denshi renji ga attara. If there is a cheap microwave, kao to omotte imasu. I think I will buy it. Next, we have tomodachi ga byoki da. The friend is sick. Kusuri o kaimono ni itte agemasu. I will kindly buy medicines. So here it is. Tomodachi ga byoki da. Tomodachi ga byoki dattara kusuri o kai ni itte agemasu. If my friend is sick, I'll kindly go and buy some medicine. Tomodachi ga byoki dattara kusuri o kai ni itte agemasu. Heya ga kirei janai. So the room is not clean. And its partner is soji shimasu. I must clean it if my room is not clean. Heya ga kirei janai. So, heya ga kirei janakattara. Okay? Heya ga kirei janakattara soji shimasu. Soji shimasu. If my room is not clean, I will clean it. And lastly, we have okyaku-san ga kuru. If the customers come, its partner is ocha o irete kudasai. Please make a tea. Okyaku-san ga kuru. Okyaku-san ga kuru. So customers come. Okyaku-san ga kitara. Ocha o irette kudasai. If the customers come, please make tea. Alright, thank you for listening and watching, and I hope you have learned something.